This video was recorded later that same night as Inside the Storm. After hours of waiting, not knowing if my daughter would be discharged to the streets or kept in the hospital long enough to stabilize, my body finally gave out before my mind did. I wasn't looking for answers. I was looking for relief. So I took a bath, closed my eyes, and asked for something simple. Peace. Not certainty, not control, just a way to quiet the fear long enough to breathe. What followed wasn't dramatic or loud. It felt like clarity arriving when I finally stopped fighting the moment. A sense of being held. For me, that language is faith. For someone else, it might be intuition, surrender, or stillness. This entry isn't about escaping reality. It's about what sometimes meets us when we're too tired to keep bracing, and we let something gentler carry the weight for a moment. This is where I was that night, inside the same storm, but reaching for a life jacket instead of the shore. Dear Diary, this was one of the hardest seasons of my life. The kind where your heart feels bruised, your body feels empty, and yet something inside of you refuses to give up. Watching my daughter fall apart in front of me felt like a slow-motion heartbreak I couldn't stop. And I needed this entry because I needed somewhere to put the pain. This is a very painful process, watching your child seemingly deteriorate in front of your eyes and having no control over it whatsoever. I wrote this entry on a night when defeat wrapped around me like a heavy blanket. The kind of night where you pray for strength, not because you're weak, but because you're tired of being strong. I was physically exhausted and emotionally really drained, but emotionally fulfilled at the same time. And as I sat in the bubble bath, just sort of meditate, not really thinking of anything, but a flood of information came to my mind. Sometimes, when we finally stop fighting the moment, wisdom slips in quietly, like warm water rippling around you. That night in the stillness, something came through me. Not loud, not booming, not dramatic, just truth. Soft, clear, and completely uninvited. A Course in Miracles says a happy outcome to all things is sure. And for a long time, I didn't believe that. I believed in chaos and worst-case scenarios, in the ego's loud, echoing voice. But God doesn't speak through fear. God speaks through what feels right, through the best-case scenario our hearts can imagine. We were given free will, so we have a choice, but God wants us to have the happiest of happy ending. And whatever makes us feel good, the best case scenario in your mind of what could happen is what our happy ending is supposed to be, because God isn't speaking to us directly. God is speaking to us through our hearts, not our head. That's how God is saying, yes, you're on the right path because it feels good. It feels right. That night, I realized my vision for her future wasn't naive. It was guidance. The good feeling wasn't delusion. It was direction. And maybe that's what this whole journey is, unlearning the fear we've rehearsed for years and remembering the light we were born with. The beliefs are such a powerful thing. It's really hard to change beliefs that have been a pattern for so long. I'm determined to have the happy ending that God wants for me. And I don't know how the story ends, but I know what I'm choosing to believe. I'm choosing the happy ending God intended for her, for me, for anyone walking through the darkness. And if you're watching this and your loved one's story scares you, hold on. You and I are standing in the same storm, and together we will walk towards the light.